dust storm, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
All right, so we've established something over the last couple weeks. We've established that we are definitely a couple of guys. Because when we say we're going to do something, we'll eventually get to it. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, we get there eventually.
We get there eventually. It takes time sometimes, right?
Right.
But we said we'll do it, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one definitely made that one hit home, right? I get accused of that all the time, and
oh, me too.
yeah, that's like, wow, makes sense, huh?
Exactly.
Chris Lane's gonna love that one.
Yeah.
So Duel of the Fates, the fan-made comic, right?
Yes.
So the comic that what's his name here? Andrew Weingartner put together. It's Colin Trevorrow's Duel of the Fates script was the
It's what it's all based off of.
yeah, the source.
Right, the source, yes.
Inspiration. It's probably a better word.
Yeah.
So we got a chance to look through what we got through the first three, right?
Yeah. I first three, I might have actually broken into four, I'm not sure. I kind of lost track of where I was, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Definitely.
a little ahead.
Yep, you are. Yep.
But yeah, we're going to talk about the first three.
Sounds good.
So, okay. I hate painting with broad strokes, right? But overall, with what you've read so far, what do you think?
Well, okay, so what I will say is I like that this is out there. Okay?
Yes.
I have to commend Mr. Weingartner for the effort put in here because, I'm sure many of us are comic book people, right? So, so having that format to, I got to be honest, when the Trevorrow script leaked, I didn't go jump all over reading it. It's just not my format to take something like that in. This, however, makes it a lot easier. So, and the artwork is cool,
No, I gotta say, I actually do really enjoy this artwork.
Yes.
Because it screams classic comic to me.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not overly done. It's not trying to capture too much realism.
Right.
It's meant to look like a comic book.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I really do.
It can, the artwork style can kind of remind you of a early to mid 80s comic book to me.
Yes.
Yeah. So
really probably some of the golden days.
Right. So as far as that goes, I really like it. As far as the story itself goes, it's not bad to me. It has its flaws, we'll say, which we can get into here and there. But overall, I would call it a very similar type of story in some ways as we got with The Rise of Skywalker, but different in a lot of different ways. So I don't know.
I don't feel like the pacing's much better.
No.
It's still jam-packed. A lot happening in short periods of time.
Yes.
And I think being put into this format makes that clearer. Because when you get the visual cues to go along with it, you're like, whoa, where'd we go?
Right.
You know, when you're just reading something like a rough draft or a screenplay or script or whatever, you may have a hard time placing yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, you get to place yourself a little better because you have visual cues to go along.
Yep.
And man, I got to say, the pacing's pretty fast.
It
You're
is.
Here, you're there. You're here. You're there.
It is.
I mean, I don't dislike it. I guess that's the biggest thing to say here.
Right.
I'm not like screaming like, wow, this should have been the movie. I don't feel like that's true. I feel like they both probably would have been a miss.
I'll agree with that. In one form or another, you know, you probably would have struck a nerve with a large part of the fan base. Which part of the fan base that might have been a little bit different, but you still would have struck a nerve with part of the fan base, I think, with this version.
Struck a nerve how? Like,
Well, in a negative way, like the way a lot of people did not like The Rise of Skywalker. I think you had the same sort of thing with this. It might have been like I said, a different part of the fan base, but you know.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, I feel like this story is grabbing certain people for the wrong reasons, mainly because I think that it's grabbing them just because it's not what we got. It's different, so they're like, "Yep, that would have been better."
Right. Yes.
I mean, we're focusing on 3 because I've read like each comic a couple times, and I don't feel like this is that much better of a story than what we got.
I'll agree with that. As far as which one's better, quote unquote.
The one thing I will say about the structure of the story that I do like a little more is you are getting a little more for each character.
Yeah.
Because you feel like Finn's got a bigger role, Rose has got Poe. They all have bigger roles than you feel like they had in The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
The Rise of Skywalker was so jam-packed that it seemed like everybody but Rey and Kylo had small roles. Like,
yes.
Probably the next biggest role to that was Leia for the first half.
Yep. So where this hits for me is, you're starting off with a classic Star Wars infiltration trope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a hit for me. The focus on the characters, like you're talking about, that's a hit for me. Oh man, there was something else. I don't know. Those are good things, but there are things also that I want to bring up before I forget about them. We have here a Sith Master, right? With Kylo, and this is supposed to be Plagueis's, right?
Yeah, Darth Plagueis' master.
How does that work?
I don't know.
I mean, because the apprentice is always supposed to take out the master, right? So there should be no lineage left alive as far as the Sith go.
This is one that, so we know how much I love the novel Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
So when I would have saw this on screen, this would have pissed me right off.
Yeah.
Like, first off, Plagueis' master didn't have 6 legs or 8 legs or whatever this is.
Right.
His master's not alive because Plagueis killed him.
Right.
And he was a Bith.
Yeah. So, I guess
his name is Tor Valum, right? Like, so why his name not Darth something?
Exactly. Yes. Those are misses. Yes, those are things that just, maybe this draft didn't get refined enough to work all that out. Maybe there would have been people who would have said, "Hey, Colin, you got to change this around. You got to do this and that." Okay, cool. But, maybe we just don't get to see that early stage of things normally. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that all of that would not have made it onto screen, because you're right. That would have been a lot of people in the theater going, "What? No." So
yeah, I don't know. Like, first off, what was it? The oldest living Sith that we had heard of in the EU, things like that, was like 1,000 years, right? There was a Sith Lord that lived for 1,000 years.
Okay.
With this guy, he lived 7,000 years.
Right.
What the hell? Why
Yeah.
so much?
I don't know. It's pretty I don't know. That kind of stuff right there is kind of like a what do you call it? Like a we're drawing our line in the sand, and basically anything from the old EU, we're telling you, is gone, no good. I just, yeah, that whole bit. I like Kylo Ren going on this dark exploration into further darkness, into the Sith, right? Just not in this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, because like I don't know, like I'm still stuck on that. Like the oldest living Sith Lords, right? Before that was Revan, right? Was like 350 or 400 or 300. I don't know. 350, I think.
Okay.
Right? And like I think it was, what was his name? They mentioned him in Plagueis, and he showed up in Old Republic video game. Vitiate, Darth Vitiate.
Okay.
Like he was supposed to have lived over 1,000 years.
Huh.
And these were like, legends, right? And not like, yes, okay, yes, it's legends now, but I mean, it was legends of the story. These were legendary characters. They lived for these legendary long periods of time. And they just nuke it with this 7,000 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me, because, there's a lot of Star Wars getting nuked, but so what did you what did you think of Rey's saber? This is something that you brought up long before The Rise of Skywalker.
The whole saber staff thing?
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Rey had a staff.
Right.
It made nothing but sense for her to end up with a saber staff.
Right.
So I love
Double-ended
this
lightsaber. Yeah. Blade on either side of the hilt.
Yeah.
Darth Maul style.
Yeah. A la Darth Maul.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. That's something I always thought should have happened.
Yeah, that's, I feel like a lot of people would have really dug, because I think you weren't alone in that. I don't necessarily, it wasn't that important to me. I could have taken it or left it, but there's a lot of people who felt the same way as you.
Well, let's talk Rey's training, right? And Rey's advancement in her skills.
Sure.
I mean, if you take someone who, spent long periods of time fighting with a bow or a staff,
Right.
And then you give them a sword and say, okay, fight off this person who's been fighting with a sword for their entire lives. What do you think is going to happen to said person with a staff that's been, fighting with a staff?
Sure.
Their technique's not going to be there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They're probably going to be disarmed in about 5 seconds. At the very least.
Yeah.
If not dead. So, yeah, I didn't buy the whole, oh, she fights with a staff. Now, all of a sudden, she's good with a sword.
Right.
Just didn't buy that.
Yeah. So you're getting at these disciplines are different.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no martial artist, but I mean, look at fighting with a staff versus fighting with a sword. Your stance is different. Everything's different.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to tell me that you're going to walk from one discipline to another and just be an adequate fighter.
Makes sense.
The first confrontation, okay, Kylo's wounded. That explains that. But when they meet on even footing, I don't know. You've been practicing for and the distance between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, the amount of time that passes there, not so high.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I guess they don't cross blades in that, do they?
Right. It's true.
Still, he's been fighting with that saber since he was a kid.
Right. Well, so I guess we could, we can at least say that was a high point, right? Rey's got the
the
double
staff.
saber. Yeah.
Double saber.
Speaking of sabers, we saw another saber in there that we're all familiar with again here. The dark saber. What'd you think of that? Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, because there's really no explanation for it, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. That right there would have been an artifact that you would think Kylo Ren would want to possess himself. And if the Knights of Ren, because it's one of the Knights of Ren who has the dark saber, it's like, why? That just made no sense to me. So.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah.
I saw the dark saber and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
I did not enjoy seeing that show up.
Right. So, it just, and I don't know if it had something to do with, knowing that it was going to be in The Mandalorian or something or what. But, it's like, you don't need to cross every little thing over from this Star Wars to that Star Wars. And, some things can just be, for me, if Kylo Ren would have had that sitting on a, in a trophy case or something, along with other Sith artifacts, I'm okay with that. But.
Okay. So since you said that.
Uh-oh.
Trophy case.
Yeah.
Artifacts. Did you notice Hux? There's a scene with Hux where he's looking at a lightsaber and then he tries to move a coin with the Force.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And he sees this lightsaber, that an object of his affection, a lightsaber resting on a pedestal.
Right.
Do you have it up?
I don't have it up. I'm looking for it right now.
Okay. I want you to look at this lightsaber and tell me if it looks familiar to you.
Oh. Where is that part at?
Because this lightsaber has been seen in Star Wars before.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I think it's pretty much it's this lightsaber.
Okay. Let's see here. I do remember that scene that you're talking about.
You know, it's right before Kylo Ren tells him that the ability to destroy a planet will be insignificant.
Gotcha. Yeah. So as I'm looking, I guess you can touch on that, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is one of my major hangups in this is the amount of, I think you used a good word for this, Doug, Lucasian. It seems like any one-liner that Vader or Han Solo had is used within these panels.
Right.
I mean, it is a relentless assault. Like in the beginning, Poe says, "Let's blow this thing and go home." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yep.
Then I see this ability to destroy a planet will be insignificant, and there's tons of these along the way.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I mean, if only every other page it said, you know, I got a bad feeling about this. But again, I think that might be something that, you know.
I mean, Luke says, "So was I," if you remember. I'm like, what the hell?
Right. Yeah. That's funny. I don't know. I like callbacks, but it can't be that blatant where it's in your face every couple minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There's always something.
Yes.
Do you have this lightsaber up?
I do.
Okay. Does it look familiar?
Maybe Vader's?
No, it's not Vader's.
Okay, whose is it then?
It is Mace Windu's lightsaber.
That's Mace Windu's?
That's Mace Windu's. Can you pull up Mace Windu's lightsaber real quick?
Oh man, you're killing me.
I know. I'm making you do work while we're doing this.
Yeah, stop it.
I know. I could have told you about this before, but that takes all the fun out of it.
For you.
Well, I mean, that's what I was looking for here.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, all the shapes are there.
Yep. Yeah. I got to be honest, I've never paid that much attention to his lightsaber. But you're right.
That's Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Right. I was mainly looking at those fins, like, which is similar, you know, to Anakin Vader's, right? It's got those windshield wiper type fins.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, beyond that, it wasn't. I just thought that was the drawing style, but no, this actually
No,
looks,
right at the emitter, you see those triangles and
yeah, the way it tapers down and all that there. Yep.
That is Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Yeah. Interesting.
Why?
I don't know. Again, it's one of those things that again just didn't need.
I mean, pretty sure in that case, right above that, that's probably Boba Fett's blaster rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just collecting stuff from characters in the movies, not like artifacts throughout history.
Right. Oh, you're right. Yeah, that looks kind of, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I just got to throw this one other thing out there. This thing they're trying to pull off with using this ancient Jedi beacon or whatever to
on Coruscant.
So you have to go to Coruscant, okay, where, according to this story, that's like the seat of power, and it's Kylo's seat. And you're going to go to the Jedi Temple to send out this beacon to rally like all the other systems behind your resistance. And we already had established in The Last Jedi, everyone's heard our call, no one's responding. So this here is like,
yeah, but it's an ancient Jedi beacon, man. It holds more weight.
Yeah, okay, holds more weight, really? I don't know, man. This is I don't know. This is kind of like, hey, you try and call a buddy for some help. Hey, I need help moving. And they don't answer because they know you're moving. So you're like, hey, dude, let me borrow your phone so I can call my buddy. It's like, it's kind of what it seems like. Up. Yeah, then they pick up and it's like, hey, I know you're not busy. Come help me move. I that's kind of what and
I don't buy the whole like, oh, it's an ancient, it's an old Jedi beacon. People are going to come to it. Like, they thought Luke Skywalker was a myth, and he was only like, what? He was like doing his thing just 10 years before this. Like,
right.
So, but he was a myth. I can't imagine the Jedi, I can't imagine their legacy survived this. Right. In the minds of everyday people.
Exactly. And with
Luke Skywalker's a myth.
Yes. And with the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, the seat of all evil power, I can't imagine they would allow anything to still function out of the Jedi Temple at this point in time.
And, man, I don't understand this whole First Order thing.
Right.
Like, how did they, like, what blow was dealt in The Force Awakens? They lost their super weapon? That's it?
Yeah.
That's no victory at all.
Right.
If they can still just take over the entire galaxy and, the 25 minutes it takes from the end of The Force Awakens into The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the whole... I shouldn't be like this, but, the whole First Order thing, I never quite got the naming convention of it either, because, well, for me, I was thinking we should call this the Second Galactic Empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know.
And the First Order was after the Empire, but like the Emperor was like, this is the final order. It's like, oh, wait.
Yeah, I know.
There's only two?
Wait a minute. Exactly.
And then it's like, what were you doing for the whole bit of time you were in power? Did you issue no orders then?
Right. That is funny.
I mean, was this like a Microsoft programming? So the first one was like 0.3 and then you had the first and then final?
Something like that. Yeah, this is meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Wait, it is actually the old boss? Yeah.
Yeah, it appears that the Emperor is not going to make an actual appearance in this one.
Right.
Because we're seeing a holocron.
Yes.
They introduced this 7,000-year-old guy.
Yeah.
That lasts like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So far, I'm going to finish. I'm going to get through it. What I will say is I love that it's in comic form. I love the artwork. and easily digestible, all that.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't necessarily think the story itself would have been that much better than what we got in The Rise of Skywalker.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what I have to make clear here. Is like what we're complaining about is the story that builds this, right? The story that's the foundation. Because I totally appreciate the artwork. I appreciate that it's happening.
Yes.
I may not like it.
Well,
per se.
And to be fair, if this would have gone through a few more revisions, something like that, maybe things would have gotten cleaned up, gotten a little better. Who knows? But
I definitely feel like they've scrapped this completely with The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's a whiff.
Right.
I don't feel they should have scrapped this completely.
Yeah,
there are definitely elements I like.
Yes. There are good takeaways from it for sure.
One, it seems like Kylo Ren's not going to be a good guy.
Exactly.
When you get to the end of this.
Right.
And I got to say, two things that stand out to me. One, Rey's saber staff.
Yep.
We established that. I like that.
Yeah.
Two, Kylo Ren is a bad guy.
Right.
When we walked away at the end of The Last Jedi, I felt like he was a bad guy now.
Yeah.
There was no turning back.
Exactly.
Even watching it today, I get done watching that film and I feel like, man, he's a bad dude at the end of this. That broke him.
Oh, yeah.
That last scene where, it seems like he's going to connect with Rey again, and the ramp closes on the Falcon, and it's done.
Right.
And he's not happy about it.
Yeah.
It's like, he's a bad dude now. Like, this broke him. That was the final straw.
Sure.
Then, just a little bit later, they're just talking again.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
like Rey tries to play it off like, I told you not to call me here.
Exactly.
Like,
that's funny. Yes. Maybe that's what we needed. Maybe that's what we needed is a mix between the two. They're good elements.
I'm definitely feeling that way.
They're good elements we could have taken from both versions and probably had a better outcome in the end.
Yeah. Maybe get rid of what's his name? Tor Valum here.
Yeah. Agreed.
If you're going to have a Sith Lord that survived and taught Plagueis, maybe have his name be Darth Tenebris.
Yeah.
And maybe he's only a couple hundred years old.
Right. Yeah. I think that whole thing should have been like holocrons or something, as opposed to, an actual Sith Lord, because, that's just not how it's supposed to work.
And really just the weirdest looking thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that's where he was going with this. Like, just to be that out there.
Yeah. Again, this, it's probably one of those things that had this gone through some more revisions, probably would have been more of a humanoid, and he probably would have had some people, set him down the right path as to, who this character should have been, and maybe, not in the flesh.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll continue on.
Yep, definitely.
And we'll return to it, see if our opinion changes. We're only covering the first half of what's there, which isn't even all of it.
Right.
So it could change as it goes along.
It could.
So our initial take is kind of meh, right?
Yeah, I'd say.
But I think the most important thing to say is I'm happy this is here. I'm happy it's a thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad it's a thing because I would have never have really taken the script, screenplay, whatever it is, in like I would this.
Exactly. This makes it far more digestible, I think, for everybody, and it's it's a fun read. It's clearly not canon, right? But it's it's all the Star Wars characters we know, and just makes it fun.
Yep.
Have something to add to the conversation? Or you just want to let us know how we're doing? Email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best place to get in on the action. But if social media is a little more to your liking, @TheWarsandMore on Twitter is always a good place to interact with us. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWarsandMore. And of course, your portal to this and everything else, The Wars and More, is thewarsandmore.com.
All right, so now we enter what is the quick hits of what is Star Wars news this week.
Right.
There wasn't a lot going on, so it made perfect sense to cover, the Duel of the Fates comic.
Absolutely. Thank God for Star Wars fans, right?
Yeah, he saved our ass this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, in fact, the next one, we're not even going to talk Star Wars at all.
Oh, hey, good.
Well, maybe a little. Maybe just a tad. Because the next one is just full of Star Wars alum.
Ooh.
So, Indy 5.
Ah, yes.
We know it's coming.
Yep.
Been a lot of when's it coming? Pushback, new director, pushback, right?
Right. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah.
So they got a date. So it's supposedly going to hit theaters July 29th, 2022.
Okay. Yep.
And of course, featuring Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge
Oh,
has been added to the cast. So,
interesting. Okay.
Star Wars alum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another Star Wars alum, also Indy alum and everything else alum, John Williams.
Yes, you are right. Everything else alumni right there. Heck yeah. That's awesome, though. Oh, wow. I love that. I love that he's got one more Indy film in him. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean he got to do his Star Wars swan song, right? Like his exit, and he's gonna get to do the same with Indy.
I love it. That is cool.
I mean, when you got John Williams, and he's showing he can still do it, and he still wants to do it,
right?
You get John Williams.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, for sure. That's pretty awesome. I'm digging it.
Yep. So, looking forward to that.
Yeah. I it's only fitting that if it could have been Star Wars, that'd have been great. But Indiana Jones, it's right up there. And for, I'm sure those movies, John Williams holds just as dear as the Star Wars movies. So it's pretty awesome that he's going to do this. And we are going to get to hear his mastery one more time for sure.
Right. And that's like the whole reason they can't do a Star Wars episode 10 now, right?
Right.
Like, that was probably a selling point to bring him in. Like, look, you get to finish what you started, right? Like,
yes.
This is the end of the Skywalker saga.
Yep.
Episode 9 is the last one. He got to do all of them.
Yep. Absolutely.
So if they do 10 now, that kind of makes them assholes.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, I just don't see where 10's in the cards, even story-wise.
It's not.
So, yeah.
It's not. I mean, there may be future stories with those characters, but it will... Star Wars saga films, it's over.
Right.
We're done here.
Yeah.
Anything going forward is just going to be Star Wars blah, blah, blah name.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
It's not going to be episode 10, episode 11. It's not. It's done.
Yeah.
That naming convention is retired.
Which is probably for the best moving forward.
Yes. Yes. I mean, let's be real. It does create a certain bottleneck.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I guess not. That was a long...
Well, no, I mean, I don't know what the bottleneck is necessarily. I mean, you just, you said you could still do stories with these characters, which I agree with. But the stories could be some or all, right? Like you could have you could do a feature-length film of like another side adventure that Finn and Rose go on, Right,
but let's take the context of the saga out of the sequels. Let's take the context that they have to belong to everything that's happened. Do they fare better?
I don't understand what you're trying to ask me.
So let's say it's not episode 7, it's just Star Wars The Force Awakens, and it's just a Star Wars story. It's not part of the saga. How's it fare then? As far as people's opinion.
Same.
Okay. Well,
I'm thinking because it's still telling that part of the story. So
yeah, but if you don't hype it like that, you don't set the expectations going in.
Yeah. But fans were clamoring for episode 7.
You probably still end up over time coming to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
But I think it takes time to get there.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking, I don't know. I think we needed these enumerated episodes to finish things off. And
I don't disagree. I'm just throwing all that out there as a hypothetical.
Right.
I think
now
that's what they should have done.
Now we can have the stories, like I said, the another Finn and Rose exclusive story. Now we can have a Poe Dameron, ace pilot story. If they were willing, that kind of stuff could happen now. Ancillary stories that happen at some point in the timeline. I'd be interested in that kind of stuff. It'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Yeah, that was our Indiana Jones talk there.
Yeah. Everything goes back to Star Wars.
Of course.
All right. So Disney Parks had a virtual event.
Yeah.
And at the end of this event, now, the tough one here is there is no pictures, video, anything from this.
Right.
Because they made everyone not do that.
Right, yeah.
Which they're good at because I saw that Mandalorian trailer and panel and all that stuff well beforehand.
Uh-huh.
And none of that leaked.
Right.
At a celebration, no one recorded that with their phone and leaked it. So,
yeah. There was a recording, but
well, what about the Resistance one too? And that wasn't leaked, right?
I don't know.
Was the whole Mandalorian thing leaked?
Pretty sure. It was because it was like the cold open of the first episode, right? Where he walks into the bar.
Yeah, but it was like way later, right? It wasn't like immediately after Celebration.
I think it was a few days maybe, but yeah.
Maybe
It's okay though. I mean, hey.
Thought better of my fellow Celebration attendees. Thought we had some honor.
Let me just say it was a bad cell phone copy for sure. But yeah. Those of us that weren't able to attend, they did get to see that. Horrible footage, but it was still exciting. Anyway,
so that just blew that up.
One thing that Disney Lucasfilm is good at is NDAs, right? We'll just say that.
See, I don't understand how a virtual event didn't get like. They were saying, what did you say here? Not allowed to take any recordings or screenshots of the presentation. Like, how do you stop that with a virtual presentation?
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Like, you're going to stop the dude from it. Like, okay, maybe part of the whatever program they were using or whatever. Like, okay, you couldn't take screenshots or record your screen. You couldn't screen cap it. It would kick you out.
Right.
That would be easy to do. But you're not going to be able to stop the person recording their screen with their cell phone.
Right.
So the fact that this isn't anywhere, at least at this moment, is pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking for it. Either they're really good at scrubbing, or everybody that got to see this is very honest.
It could be. Could be that. But what are we talking about, Joe?
Yeah, I was going to get there. So apparently at the end of this presentation, how do you say his name? It's Josh D'Amaro?
Sure.
That's what I'm rolling with.
Okay.
He pulled out a lightsaber hilt.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then activated it. And the blade rose up. And he said, "It's real."
Wow. This
lightsaber looks fantastic. It is a lightsaber that you pull out. It's a hilt. You hit a button. It extends out and looks. At what did this person say? The best way to describe it is to think of how lightsabers look and work in the Star Wars films, and somehow it looks 1-to-1.
That's amazing.
So this goes back to, remember we talked about this patent that was filed for a lightsaber?
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And we were looking at this mechanism going, I don't know how this works.
Exactly. And I still don't know how this works.
No, I mean, he describes it. Obviously, he didn't describe it very well. It's like it looked like a lightsaber. The blade rose up out of the hilt and looked great.
Exactly.
And I'm like looking at this diagram again going, how the hell does this do this?
Yeah.
Where does this thing come from?
With our mechanical backgrounds, we're we haven't like taken a deep dive into these drawings and dissected them, but at a overview here, it's still kind of fuzzy as to how this is going to operate and to what degree you can use it as a lightsaber, right?
Right. Like, so I think I got a lot of it figured out.
Uh-huh.
But there's one element that just doesn't sit with me, and that's, where does it get any rigidity, right? Like,
right.
I don't understand how this thing would be at all rigid.
Yeah.
I can see how you could make this happen, but it's going to be flimsy if you swing it.
Exactly. Like,
so I see this design. I see because you got the LED spool and you got the blade spools. So I assume the blade spools are some sort of plastic.
Right.
It spools up on either side. Wouldn't be that hard for those pieces to be kind of form-fitting where they would curl and close off in a round kind of shape.
Right.
So that's not hard. But where's the rigidity come from? Now I see this thing at the bottom says blade form, but I don't understand how the hell that thing works.
Yeah. Not sure what that is either.
I'm sure that's where it gets that, rigid form from, but I don't know how.
Yeah. It's I hate to put it this way, but to me, still the best thing I could liken it to would be like a tape measure. If there's a spool, I'm thinking something wound up, right? Which kind of looks like what the LED spool is. And even if you have something a little firmer with this quote unquote blade spool, and it says spools, plural. I bet you one comes out on each side of that LED spool.
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed.
So
they're probably connected.
Yeah.
So the end would be round.
Right.
So, but yeah, one's for one side, one's for the other. They spool evenly. Like, I look at all this and all of these items on here make sense.
Right.
It's just the one that sticks out to me is that blade form, because, I see blade spools.
Yeah.
Tensioner, motor, LED spool. It's like, okay, yeah, you should have that. You should have that. You should have that.
Right.
What the hell is the blade form? That's where the mystery lies. How does it form the blade?
Yeah, seems like a lot of stuff has got to work together in order for it to all come out right, too.
Mm-hmm. And the most important question is, how is this thing going to handle me hitting my sibling with it?
Yeah, from this drawing, my guess is you're going to break it.
That's the way I take it. But, I mean, even in my 30s, this is important.
Well, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, yeah. I mean, what are lightsabers for? You got to swing them at somebody. It's
one target? Sibling.
Yes, of course.
Some things never change.
That is for sure. Yeah, I'm looking at this thing too. This is, I don't know if you can afford to swing this at anybody. There's a lot of engineering gone into this, and I got a feeling it's going to be a hefty price tag.
Oh, I would say baseline, this thing's going to be $600.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, if not more.
If it's flimsy, $600. If it's rigid, closer to $1,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I still don't know how they would pull that off, but
I don't know. They say the word real, man. That means it's got to hurt.
Exactly. I want to be cauterizing wounds with this. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to see a magic trick? I can cut your hand off. No blood.
Yep. I don't know. I gotta say, this is one of those things that I would love to have.
Oh, I mean, and
there's no way I can afford it, but I would love to have it. Yeah.
This for me has been the leading Star Wars mystery since they announced it in 2017.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I thought this had been like something forgotten about.
Yeah. I thought it was like, they didn't make it work.
Exactly.
And now dude shows up and goes,
yep. Yeah. And it's real. Yeah. Really? Yeah. I have a feeling they might have just been perfecting this for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
Now that, I've seen the blueprint, the hard thing for me here is going to be when I get it, not to take it apart.
Oh God. Yeah. Don't go break it. Hey, you get one of these things, you need to let me ignite it at least once before you take it apart.
Before I take it apart. Yeah, because it's broke now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All the things you took apart as a kid that just never made it back together. That's.
I've had a better success rate as an adult.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But this would be one of the more complicated ones, I'm sure. It's
Yeah. Well, I think I'd be fine with everything except for this thing I don't understand down here, this blade form.
Right. Yeah, you can't get past that, can you?
Nope,
Blade
that's going to
form.
be the one that's going to screw it up if I take it apart.
Right.
The other stuff, I understand all of that.
Yeah, sure.
Those are all, common knowledge kind of things if you have any mechanical background.
Yep.
That one at the bottom.
I just imagine this thing having spools and this and that. You pull the casing off, and then you pull the inner frame skeleton apart, and all these spools just go across your table.
It's going to look like taking a radio apart in Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Exactly. Springs and stuff all
Yep.
over the place. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep our eye on this. Hopefully this footage leaks.
Yeah, I would love to see
I was
this.
talking about how much I adore the honesty, but I really want this to leak.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Something we need to see.
Yeah. All right. Ewan McGregor's beard.
Whoa. Okay.
Have you seen Ewan McGregor lately?
I did get to see this picture. Yes.
Yes.
I thought his beard said something, but
No. No.
okay.
But let's be real. The important thing here is his beard.
This is true. Yes.
All I got to say is, wow. You see this picture and then you imagine him in this role.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be crazy uncanny. They are about to seamlessly blend these two characters. Well, one character, but two actors playing
Absolutely.
the character.
Yes. That is going to happen.
It is very wild.
And it's just so cool. I don't know. I still can't wait for this to come out. I know they're just getting started on shooting, but man, this is one I'm still looking forward to. Gotta say.
Yeah, this series is, of the Disney Plus series that have been announced, this is the one I'm probably most excited for.
Yeah.
I
gotta say, I think this is going to be the one too that's going to be able to draw the widest swath of fans in. I mean, your prequel fans, your OT fans, even a lot of the sequel era fans.
I mean, I think a lot of these series that are coming are going to be able to do that. But yes, I would agree. This will be the widest spectrum.
Right.
But they're going to have a pretty wide spectrum with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Even with Ahsoka, because that is a character that has just continued to grow.
True. She has become one of the most popular Star Wars characters. For sure.
Yeah. But yes, Obi-Wan, yes, this will probably draw the widest. But it's going to be close for those three series.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this is just exciting.
Mhm.
And seeing it now, and then, we talked about, was it last week or the week before, the set video? That could be that set. It could be Book of Boba Fett. It could be Mandalorian. It could be anything.
Right.
But we like to think it was Obi-Wan.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny you mentioned something, and I'm trying to like process this in my brain here. You think we might see Ahsoka in Obi-Wan?
Ooh.
Like, even briefly.
Maybe.
That would be interesting.
I mean, they're characters that have a relationship.
Yeah. It would be one of those things where I could see Obi-Wan being cold. Because it's like, hey, you can't be here. You're going to draw attention to me, and that can't happen.
But if they are together on Tatooine. Yes.
Right. Or yeah, if they're together somewhere else, it's not such a big deal. Yeah.
I think if they end up together, it'll be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because if she was the one to find him to draw him out to do this other thing, I think his reluctance would be higher.
Yeah.
Because you're okay. This is a lot of unnecessary attention here.
Right.
Especially you.
Exactly.
Like, of all people.
Yes.
Like, it's not like the character from Jedi Fallen Order, Cal Kestis, right? Like,
right.
It's not like he's the one that shows up. No, it's literally Anakin's apprentice.
Right. Which we
like,
know attention isn't drawn to her until Rebels era. So.
Yeah, which would be a little later, right?
A little bit after this, yeah.
Just a tad.
4 or 5 years or so after this, yeah.
Okay, so that's true. But still.
Yeah. Make for an interesting story, that's for sure.
Like, you wouldn't want Anakin's apprentice and his master on the same planet.
Exactly.
When you're trying to, like, stay minimalist in the Force.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
which apparently
funny.
they pull off because his line in Rebels was "The apprentice lives."
Yes. If, and that was just a speculation. I don't know. It's just, we have a live action Ahsoka now. This could happen. That would be interesting.
Then again, just like we talk about with the Obi-Wan Vader confrontation, he may be saying that because he thought she was dead.
Oh, yeah.
After their last meeting. He doesn't. It's not like surprise, like, oh, wow, she survived Order 66.
Right. Oh, it's funny how all that works, doesn't it? Isn't it? It's
yeah. Wow. They're so good at that.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Oh. Filoni.
He didn't say,
Favreau.
oh, wow, she survived Order 66.
Right.
No, he said the apprentice lives.
Yes. Amazing.
I mean, just because he thought she may have been dead after Order 66 because of what happened in Season 7 doesn't mean that was the last time he thought she was dead.
Right. Yeah, in that final scene, when you think about it, that could be him tracking her down. Wow, okay. Yeah, I got to stop thinking about all that because, man, I'm going to go off in left field.
Yep. Save that for another time.
Yeah. But
all right, last thing.
Yeah.
Last thing. Detours. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's cropping up again.
Yes. And I'm loving that it's cropping up again.
Yeah. The rumor mill's fired up. It's saying it could be coming somewhere around May 4th.
Yeah, this would be awesome for us. This is something that we've heard about, God, for almost 10 years now. And I for one would love to see this.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of Star Wars not taking itself too seriously all the time.
Right.
Establishing venues where it could, have a little lighter note.
Yeah.
More than Lego, right? Like, they let Lego go crazy, but yet this is still chilling in the vault.
Yeah. It's time for something like this, I think this something like this would kind of give the whole fan base permission to kind of like, let go of our sacred cows in Star Wars a little bit,
Yeah, lighten up.
Exactly. Which is something that's needed, and I think everyone can, get get a kick out of this. It'd be great. Everything that we've seen from it so far, including that leaked episode most recently from Weird Al, is hilarious. And I don't know. For one, I want it. Love to see it. Think it's time.
I'm with you. I mean, so yeah, we want it. What do you think, though? Do you think this is just another time that Detours is popping up, or do you feel like this may be it?
I think this may be it. Because that episode that leaked most recently, I don't forgive me for saying so, but I don't think that was an accident. You know, he put it out there, and I think it was for a reason. I think it was testing the waters a little bit to see if this sort of thing was something the fans want, you know. And clearly we always want whatever Star Wars we can get. But,
right,
you know, this is, I don't know, for whatever reason, they didn't think this would be good for the brand at the time when Disney, you know, bought the brand. I just...
Well, I mean, the excuse was the sequel trilogy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's done with.
It's done. And if there ever was, you know, okay, cool. I don't think it necessarily one conflicted with the other for me. But okay, that's your reasoning. Your reasoning is your reasoning. Cool. That is done now. So now is the time. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, put it out. I mean,
yeah, and it would be a good time for everyone to take a break from the war and fandom and
yeah, absolutely,
maybe laugh a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there is some funny stuff in these.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's humor. It's self-deprecating humor, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
And I think yeah, this is a good time. This is an appropriate time, and it's probably needed right now.
Yeah, and the other thing that's for sure about this, GL approved. I mean, he was working on this stuff. You know, this might be the last thing we get that George worked on.
Yeah, outside of consulting.
Right.
Yeah, this will be it. Yeah, I really hope it finally makes its way out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's time.
Well, hopefully we'll get an official announcement, and if we do, we'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, still not going to hold my breath.
Right.
But I'm hopeful. All right. Well, if you have anything to add to the conversation, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media. We're at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.